Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Fanatic, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. Welcome to this video and thank you for watching. This basically is a breakdown video of a dope beat that I created. It's an experimental beat, but it has hip-hop elements and it has a nice vibe to it. And it came out pretty cool. Notice it doesn't look too busy, but sometimes looks can be deceiving when you're just looking at the playlist window. But hopefully there's some tips in here and also maybe some guidance that I can give you to help you with your production so you can use it in your own beats and just try different stuff, man. So anyway, I'm gonna break down the sound selection and different things I chose to do, mixing, and also the plugins I use. And this one I might get more into depth what I do with the mastering plugins when I make my beats sound that much more pristine, because a lot of people are like, yo, your mixing is crazy, your mastering is crazy. And I'll show you exactly what I do in this video so that way you can use it for your own mastering and also use it for your own plugins too, because you can do stuff in other plugins that you don't really need this fancy stuff. So anyway, let me break it down. Oh yeah, if you like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJPhanaticBeats. That's PHANATIC, or Sounds for Producers on Instagram as well. So let's start from the beginning. Let me change my snap to grid here. Cool. The first thing I started with, and I like to challenge myself, I actually started with a drum loop, which is very rare for me. I usually start with melody and then I add drums, but this time I went with drums first and then built chords around it. So it's rare that I do that. I think I wanted to challenge myself. I usually do that when I want to challenge myself, and I just, I do things differently in a different workflow, and that could be good for you too as well as a producer, because we get so caught up doing it the same way, same techniques, same workflow, and sometimes just flipping it, you may come up with a different result and people will be like, yo, you made that? Yeah, I made it, but I didn't think it was dope because I tried something different. So don't doubt yourself when you're trying different stuff. So the first thing I did was a drum loop, so here it is. I was checking to see if I did anything plugin wise. I didn't do anything. I was really happy with how that loop sounded. And let's do all. Yeah, where is it? Okay, here it is. Yeah, I was really happy with the overall sound of that entire. It's rare that I use it straight through like that. And notice it's a full drum loop. It has all these different sounds in there. There's shakers, hi-hats, multiple snares, a nice solid short kick, and straight thump to it. So I was really happy with it. I just left it as is. So then I started adding some chords to it. So check this out. And in particular, here, let me just play the chords for you. And the next pattern, I took it up an octave, so we'll just play that through right here. Pattern 1 and 2. Up an octave. I'm actually trying to find the key of these so I can show you a cool tip. So I think it was, if you click on this little arrow here and go to helpers and go to scale highlighting, you can actually choose a scale so you can kind of make sure your beats are in key. And I think this is G sharp. Might be minor or major. Let's use pattern 1. And looks like everything is, nope, right here it's out of key. Let's try minor, because this is a very unique scale here. Minor natural. And notice the lighter notes are actually selected. So it looks like this is G sharp minor. So a little cool thing you can do with music theory is select notes that are, and I didn't do it in this beat. Wow. These are very unique chords I chose to do. So anyway, a cool thing about, let's say you're in G sharp minor. Let's go up an octave. What you can do is select notes, select the whatever note you want to hear, then make chords real quick, and you can actually skip a note and skip this note and go here. And then you have, and you want to make a 7th chord, skip another note. 11th, skip another note. So you can make these really advanced chords by just skipping notes without knowing music theory. So that's a really cool tip you can do. This beat, I probably use the stamp tool. Here's another tool where you can select whatever chord you want. Be careful with that because it's hard to know what scale you're in when you don't know what you're doing. So it's a cool way to make some awesome chords real quick, but be mindful of the scale that you're in. So I don't want to get too deep into theory, but just wanted to show you those really cool tips right quick. So this particular sound, I chose Omnisphere, and it has some really cool chords. So this is the instrumentation I chose to add to the drums. So it has like this eerie futuristic sound to it. So the next sound I added was looks like an ARP. So this gave it a lot of space, and I used the same chord. So check it out. See, as you listen, you would never know the arpeggiator is actually the same notes as the first chords you heard. For the first string sound, I'm going to show you what sound I use in Omnisphere right quick. It is the JX03 backwards pad. Probably something random that I found in there. So if you want to use that same sound, it's pretty cool. And for the arpeggiator, the second sound, I use the ARP chord pad 006 in silent one. So just, so you know what sounds I use. So those are actually the same chords. That's another cool tip you can do, is use the same chords but use them differently with different sounds, and you can kind of just feel out what you want to add to the beat, because it just builds more depth to it, and you would never even know that if I didn't tell you that. And also in the arpeggiator, you can change the type of like the mode, whether you want to go like randomize up down or up down or whatever. Just play around with that. You can change the timing. This is on 16th notes. I have this going down up twice. It's a unique arpeggiator, and to get to that in this plugin, it says ARP egg. It's basically short for arpeggiator. And then you can mess around with the gating. Just mess around with all of this stuff, and you can come up with your own unique your own unique arpeggiating pattern. And of course, you can mess around with the sound, but this is cool too, where you're changing the different tempos, and it changes the whole beat. Just that one little arpeggiation thing you can do, it changes the whole vibe of the beat. So the next thing I added, I think it was Plucks. So yep, so check it out. actually use Circle 2, which is cool too. I haven't favorited that. I don't know how to favorite in here, man. Well, anyway, that's called One Up, and it's funny that they named it that because it straight reminded me of a video game. But I think I added reverb on it as well. Mixing wise, yes, I tried a bunch of different stuff, but only left reverb. You can pause it and check out these settings if you like. And also I use EQ to cut the lows and a little bit of highs. On the ARP, just EQ, probably cut the lows and a little bit of highs as well. And for the pad, I just cut the lows and highs. So a quick way to do that is go here, save preset as, and just drag it and drop it on whatever track you want, and you're actually copying the settings of the Fruity parametric EQ2. That's another tip you can use in FL Studio. And I'm not even using this track, but I'll just leave it there. Let's just remove that. So and then I had drums. So it looks like I started with this and then added the drums. For some reason in the playlist window I left this empty, so looks like I backtracked. So anyway, I usually start from left to right, so I did do instrumentation first and then added the drums. I believe it's been a while, so either way it's a different workflow for me, because what I did I usually don't do. So the next sound I added, let's see what that is. Whoops. More Plucks. Let's see how this sounds together. That's a real spaced out beat. So the other thing I added was a cymbal right here, just to kind of give it that steadiness, and you know every 8 bars something else is going to happen, just to give it that structure. And lastly, the bass that I chose to do here. What did I do for the bass for this beat? 3X OSC. Here, check it out. Now the bass line is just moving all over the place, but it sounds real cool because it's like its own melody. This actually reminds me of like Neptunes, because they use chords like this. These are mostly 7th chords, I believe. Yeah, 7th chords. Yep. Pharrell Williams, man, he loves 7th chords. And it's always good to like study other producers that you admire. So with the bass line, this is what I chose to do, which is insane. These are the plugins I chose. Of course, I boosted the low because I wanted that frequency to stand through. And I use R-Bass Stereo to kind of give it some harmonics and give it some intensity and kind of focus in on that one frequency, 69. And the next thing I added was Fruity Fast Distort. This, I tried different distortion types and also mix level and the threshold, and messed around the post. So basically you just keep tweaking until you get what you want, and then it's sidechain with the limiter for the kick or for the drums, so that way the drums kind of cut through the bass. So using these plugins, I added a lot to it. Let's solo it. Has that buzz and that bite, right? So this is without the plugins. Obviously it's lower in volume, but it's also smoother and softer. I wanted a little more aggressive to give it some color. And in my mind, it actually is a little too much when I listen to it by itself, but when you listen to it all the elements, it sounds cool. So let me play it with all the elements, so check it out. This beat is so full, but I give it space during the verses. So for mastering, and actually with the ARP I did pan it left, and the Plucks I panned it right, just to kind of give it its own unique area within the beat, because there's a lot going on in this beat. And the first pad, I did some stereo separation, about 50% separated, basically separating the sound from the left to your right ear. So for the master channel, I use Neutron 2. So usually, let me break down what I do. Usually I'll just sometimes I'll try presets, but I usually use Track Assistant. I'll play the beat. I'm not gonna save these settings, but I hit Track Assistant and then it'll do its magic, and then I go in here and take out whatever I don't like or add what I want, and then I change each parameter threshold. This is a multi-band compressor, so I kind of see what it's doing. And I usually set this mode to clean so it's not as aggressive, but it also depends on what you want to go for, especially if you're using a specific sound. And sometimes it'll identify it to do it as clean. It depends what it chooses to do, and sometimes I'll do it more than once to kind of see what it does. So anyway, yeah, each parameter, each module, I'll change parameters. And this is let me turn this off, turn that off, and this is without it. That's without Neutron 2, and this is with. Without. With. Without. With. Now with Ozone 8 is basically the same thing. Let me turn it on. Hopefully I didn't glitch it. There we go. Here we go. So I hit Master Assistant, and then it chooses all the stuff, and then I go within each thing, change whatever I like. It's a quick way of mastering, and take out things that I like. Imager, I always add imager because I like to isolate specific frequencies, how wide I want them, how narrow I want them. So this is without. And this is with. Without. With. So nice. And tonal balance control basically shows me what frequencies everything falls into. And I'm basing it on an algorithm of tested songs and whatnot. And you can do some cool stuff with this too. So I don't want to get too far into mastering, because everyone has their own way of doing it, and everyone learns differently, and even some people don't have these plugins, so you can use what's here. I use these for years. Maximus, you can get some awesome results, and a limiter, and just learn what you have. Like, just go ham with it and just learn everything you can with what you got, and that way you'll progress into other things, and don't fall into the whole wanting to buy everything to make things sound great. I fell victim to that. So anyway, let's play the beat. This is all the sounds and all the choices I made pretty much, and let me play it from the beginning and into some of the beats so you get the vibe with it, and hopefully you got something out of the video. So check it out. well spaced out. Let's go. Alright, there you have it. So that's pretty much half the beat there, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully, I don't know, I said something that you can use in your journey of producing music. And yeah, try different workflows. That's, man, I tell you, like, inspiration works very interesting when you try different stuff. And yeah, anyway, again, if you like to follow me, you can follow me on DJ Fanatic Beats on Instagram. PHANATIC is how you spell it, and also on Sounds for Producers on Instagram as well. So again, it's your boy DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com, and thank you for watching. Peace.